Akron Athletics presents Zips Weekly with John Groce. Sponsored by Bryant Heating and Cooling and Hilton Hotels in Akron and Fairlawn. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Zips Weekly with head basketball coach John Groce as we get ready for week number 2 of the Mid-American Conference schedule. Week number 1 couldn't have gone any better. A road win at Northern Illinois and a come-from-behind win over Bowling Green Friday night at Rhodes Arena. And, Coach, going into the season, you knew everybody's going to get you the best shot. You're number 1 preseason, and, boy, Bowling Green gave you a great look, and Northern Illinois came back and made it tough in that second half.
Yeah, trying to get our guys to understand, right? We've got an older group, Joe, and they've been through a lot. They have, and they've seen the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly, the wins, all that. But this is the first time that they've ever been picked where they're picked,
right?
In almost unanimous fashion. So they have to understand that every night we're getting the other team's best shot. And so they should embrace that, love that. As a competitor, that's what you want. And so understanding that and making sure that you're ready to go. I thought in the Northern Illinois game we were clearly ready to go. We came out. I thought our defense was really on point. The first half maybe is the best we've defended all year. In fact, that first half may have been the best we've played all year.
Yeah.
And then we come and play Bowling Green at home. And the first half, I thought our defense was putrid. I thought offensively we were pretty good. We just missed shots, but we were pretty good. And then the second half, we were able to get the defense and the offense working in concert.
Exactly. 2 more games this week. We'll be over at Ball State on Tuesday night, then back home Friday night for another nationally televised game against Buffalo. Hope to see you there on Friday night. Right now, however, let's pick up highlights from that road game. Open up the season out in DeKalb, Illinois against Northern Illinois. And you mentioned, Coach, boy, what a great defensive effort. You come out and you hold them to, I think it was 15% shooting in the first half.
15% and 16 points, Joe.
Right.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it really was. Our effort, our ability to help for each other, the multiple efforts our guys gave, the physicality we played with at that end of the floor, and just the focus. I thought we were really disciplined. And we weren't as much, again, on Friday night against Bowling Green. But it was good to see us do that and come out that way in the first league game.
There was about a 3 or 4 minute span, I think, early in the game, Coach. You weren't making shots, but your defense was so good that you just kind of waited till you started making shots to pull away.
Yeah, no question. And great teams do that, right? If you attach your defensive effort and your defensive production to how you're shooting the ball, you're going to be very inconsistent. We call those teams front-running teams.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to be able to defend regardless of circumstance, give multiple effort, make sure we're talking, we're engaged, we're executing the discipline and the details, I should say, that we need to execute defensively in order to be good. So I thought we did that the first half at a really high level in DeKalb.
Had a 19-point lead at halftime, Coach, 35-16, and I mentioned to Dave Scosen on the radio side, that might be our best half of basketball.
It was, and maybe is to this point even after the Bowling Green game on Friday. So, yeah, no, we played really, really well. Was really pleased with the way our upperclassmen led and how they got us ready for the league opener. I just thought all in all it was a great win for us, a great way to start conference play.
I think our biggest lead of the game, Coach, I think we were up 26 in the second half, but you called a timeout with about, I think, 3 minutes left, just kind of refocus a little bit. Maybe they losing a little bit of detail.
One early in the second half because I didn't like the way we came out defensively in the second half. We didn't have the same bite we did in the first half, and then obviously call one late as well just to kind of get us locked back in to close.
Zips finished with 4 players in double figures. Enrique Freeman with 21, Ali was 16, Nate Thompson 13, Greg Tribble 10, and he out-rebounded the Huskies 40-27.
Yeah, no, we were good on the glass. I thought we were really good in every area, especially in that first half, exceptional. Second half, I thought our offense was a little bit better than our defense, but we found a way, obviously, ultimately to get it done.
Nice to get that first road win, Coach, because Northern Illinois at times has been a tough place to win for a lot of people.
Yeah, no question. And any road game, obviously in conference play, I don't care what league you're in.
Yeah.
Those are hard to get. So, we were that was a blessing for us to get off to a great start, but we earned it. We came out with the right mentality. I thought we prepared well leading into the game. coming off the St. Bonaventure
Right.
loss, and played like we practiced, quite frankly.
Zips win it 73-51. Had a nice charter flight out and back, Coach, and that's always nice to get out there and get back at a decent hour, isn't it?
No, it really was. In
Yeah.
fact, it helped us win the Friday
That's
night
right.
game against Bowling Green, because at that point, when you take the Christmas practices plus Bonaventure, plus Northern, plus BG, we went 9 days in a row. So that was a huge thing for us to be able to get back, get them some rest, and get ready to go for Bowling Green.
Right. We're going to take a break, come back, and talk about the highlights of that Bowling Green game. So don't go away. We're back right after this timeout.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
Here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weeklies. We get ready to take a look at highlights from that big come-from-behind win against Bowling Green on Friday night. The Falcons came into town with a record of 10-3, Coach. It was their best start since the 2004 season. And no pun intended, but they were flying high coming in, weren't
No,
they?
they were. They won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, their personnel, when you watch them, Todd's done such a good job not only coaching them, but recruiting in year one. And obviously it's a different, we look back, Joe, to that when I first got here, and we talked sometimes, you and I have talked about it, and Brian Dennison and I have talked about it. What if Christian Jackson, Sirius Williams, and all the Hester and all those guys were eligible immediately like
Exactly.
that? Today? That was a different time then. So he's taken advantage of that. He's done a great job. I thought that Hill, Spurgeon, and Agee, those 3 guys are really good. He's done a great job recruiting and a great job with his team. We knew it was going to be a challenge. I didn't think we were up to it defensively the first half. Like I said, I used the word putrid earlier. I didn't think we were very good, but we locked back in the second half, held them to 20-plus points in the second half, and then our offense was really good throughout the entire game.
Taking a look at the entire game, we'll look at highlights here in a second, but I mentioned after the game, Coach, your bench outscored their bench 25-5. You had a great effort from those guys.
Yeah, I thought Tavari, who had limited minutes, he impacted the game.
Yeah.
Dawson makes 3 threes, gave us a lot of toughness plays and rebounding. I thought Shamaz Scott was terrific at both ends of the floor. I thought Caleb Thornton ran our team, 5 assists, 1 turnover in 20-some minutes. I mean, we got major production out of that. And that, in fact, is a big reason why we won the game. Now, obviously, Freeman was Freeman, and Ali contributed. Those guys are great players. Greg was terrific, 7 for 8 from the field. Leadership, makes 2 more threes. He was really good. Those are kind of our mainstay guys. But you're absolutely right. I thought the bench was the difference in the game.
Right now, let's go back to this past Friday night. A 9 o'clock tip-off, nationally TV audience watching the Zips take on Bowling Green. And as you mentioned, Coach, the Falcons came out. They shot 63% in the first half, and we were down 14 points in that first half.
We were, and I tell you, it's interesting. I thought Dawson really came in and gave us a jolt. And you see Sammy made a couple big threes. Mike made a couple big threes. And the next thing you know, I'm walking into halftime looking at the stat sheet, Joe, saying, how in the heck are we only down by 5 points? You felt like we should have been down by more, quite frankly, the way we had defended. And they're shooting 63%. So I thought we were in a decent position, especially with Freeman being in foul trouble like he was and able to play, or only able to play. About half of the first half, maybe a little less. So I thought we were in a good position. We just needed to come out and play a little bit better defensively in the second half.
They made some tough shots, though, in the first half. I thought they had some pretty good personnel, and they were playing with a lot of confidence coming in with that 10-3 record.
They were, no question about it. It was good for us, but I thought they really popped us early. I thought, the guys made shots. I thought they played with a lot of confidence like you're talking about. And I really, as I said earlier, I think Hill and Spurgeon and Agee, man, those 3 guys are really good. They got good shooting around them. Good win for us.
One of the keys in that first half, Enrique Freeman picked up his third foul. That was early in the second half, and I said on the radio side, you had a big decision to make. When do you put Freeman back in?
Yeah, you know what ended up happening? I would have played him more in the first half, even with 2 fouls, but you know, we were able to close the gap, as we just talked about, from 14 to 5.
Yeah.
We got to 7. About the 3-minute media timeout in the first half, I'm like, I was going to put him back in, but it just went from 14 to 7. Do I want to risk that? Then we ended up making the shot with Nate Johnson right before halftime to cut it to 5. And so you know, I tend to be aggressive in situations like that. I don't want to be the guy that sits our best player. You know, that's not me.
Exactly.
You know, statistics show that most of those guys don't foul out anyway with 2 fouls in the first half. So last thing I want to do is put Freeman on the bench and be the MVP for the other team. You know, so we usually play guys.
Take a look at that second half, Coach. It wasn't like we came out and jumped on right away. Actually, they increased that lead to about 7 points a couple of minutes in, and then we took over after that.
Yeah, we had a 21-1 run in the half, and it was really spurred on by our defense. You know, I thought our defense really got us going, got us some easier baskets, created some energy for us. And then I thought the crowd was awesome. When we made the run, the crowd really got
behind us.
Got behind us, and I thought that made a difference as well.
You know, the backcourt of Dawson, Scott, and Thornton combined for 6 for 10 and 3-pointers, coming off the bench hitting threes.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then their ability to take care of the ball, in particular, Scott 4-0, Thornton 5-1.
Right.
I just thought those guys were absolutely terrific, and we're going to need them to continue. For us to reach our potential, we've got to get all 8 to 9 guys we're playing clicking on all cylinders.
And you mentioned post-game, Coach, 22 assists for your basketball team against Bowling Green.
So unselfish, showed them a lot of clips here, from the game of just the ball moving. And, we left, Joe's unbelievable, had 9 turnovers, 22 assists, and then we keep potential assists where I might throw you a great pass and you just happen to miss it. Yeah. Right? We had 16 more of those. I honestly felt like if we'd have made free throws and made shots in the first half that we could have scored 100 points. I really did. I thought we were really clicking on offense for the full 40.
Watching highlights of Akron's big come-from-behind win over Bowling Green. Right now the Zips are 10-4 overall, 2-0 in the Mid-American Conference. As we said, 2 more games this week. A lot of candidates for our Players of the Week. We're going to come back and tell you who we chose right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Let's go! Come on over and check out what we're doing.
Let's go! Here we go now.
Well, each week at this time, we're going to announce our Players of the Week, and there were so many candidates this week, Coach. We had to go with our co-players of the week, and boy, 2 great ones. Let's start with Enrique Freeman. We could have him our Player of the Week every week, Coach, and he continues to really lead the country in rebounding, and that's everybody, Coach. That's an amazing stat right there.
Yeah, no, his double-doubles and obviously rebounding are certainly, getting national acclaim as they should. And to be honest with you, against Bowling Green, it reminds me a little bit, I've said this before, of coaching David West when we were at Xavier at the time. I mean, it was almost like you could book 20 and 10.
Yeah.
And I hate, I hope we're not, certainly I keep trying to remind myself, don't take that for granted. Because actually, this sounds nuts, but he didn't play great in the Bowling Green game and has 20-plus points and 10-plus rebounds and 3 blocks. And, there's some detailed things we got to get cleaned up. He's so coachable. He wants to do the right thing, and he'll do it. But, no, he's a special player, that's for sure.
Let's take a look at the stats for Enrique Freeman last week. How about 21 points, 10 rebounds at Northern Illinois, then 24 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 block shots. against Bowling Green. And here's one that's really amazing. For the week, he was 21 of 24 in free throws.
Yeah, great week for him,
Yeah.
right? It's all about confidence with him. He's got good touch, and he's got a good stroke. He sees a couple go in. I think it means, a lot to him, certainly watching him and coaching him now over 4 or 5 years from that perspective. But, no, he cashed in at the free throw line. I thought he was, provided some rim protection. He was great on the glass. Working on, like we are with everybody, some detail things that I think can make him and our team better.
Our other player of the week, how about 6'3" senior Greg Tribble? And Coach, everybody knows you get those scouting reports before every game, and I'm sure the scouting report is on Greg Tribble. He'll take it to the rim. Maybe not an outside shooter, but he may have changed that scouting report. He's shooting threes pretty well right now.
Yeah, I know he is. He's taking really good ones. He's made 4 of his last 6, and he's now had back-to-back games where he's made 2 threes, and that obviously puts the defense in a real blender. Especially with Freeman roaming around out there and Ali and the way we post the ball and all those different things. But he's playing great. I couldn't be more happy for him. It reminds me a lot of Castaneda last year.
Right.
All of our guys work hard and put in extra time, but the amount he puts in is absurd. People have no idea. He comes in early in the morning. He comes in late at night. And he's made himself into a efficient shooter and an efficient free throw shooter. Self-made.
Yeah.
So, he everything he gets, I always feel super happy for him, like I do the other guys. But the work ethic he showed to improve as a free throw shooter and as a three-point shooter during his 5 years is starting to come to fruition, and I'm really proud of him for that. He's put in a lot of time.
Let's take a look at the stats for those 2 games last week. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in 25 minutes. That was Tuesday night against Northern. Comes back Friday night, 16 points. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block shot, missed only 1 shot the entire game against Bowling Green.
Yeah, no, he was terrific. The thing about him is, obviously, we've talked about how he played, but his leadership. He has the ears of the guys in the locker room during huddles, and Greg's about winning. He's a winner. That's what he cares about at this stage for him. Like, he's always been that way, but it's exasperated even more now as he's gotten older. And it's about the team, and it's about winning, and making sure guys are locked in for practice. And when you have a guy like that, and Freeman's like that too, you have some guys like that, it really makes it fun to coach your team.
All the players on this basketball team, boy, I'd say love the program and they love the coaching staff. But you take a look at Greg Tribble. I look at him, Coach. He's not going to let anybody say anything or do anything against his basketball team. I'm not saying he's kind of the enforcer type, but, boy, he is a guy out there you can always count on when things get tough.
Yeah, no, he's a guy when you're not around. That's where your culture really, that's where it exists, right? It's when the coaches aren't around and the players are together, whether it's when they're eating, whether they're together socially, whether they're in the apartment playing video games, whether they're on campus, what type of messaging are they, talking about amongst each other when the coaches aren't around. And that's where guys like Tribble and Freeman and some of the older guys, even now Ali, Dawson, those guys know the culture. They live and breathe it. And so that's huge. It's one of my concerns for next year because we're losing a lot of these guys. And I always say, culture's not something that's a word that's used all the time, Joe, to be honest. And a lot of people think, hey, it's a philosophy, which it is. It starts with a philosophy of what you believe in as a head coach, or it's sayings or writings or quotes on the wall. But those things don't come to life unless the players live and breathe that on their own. And it's the quality of the character of the guys that are in the locker room. That's the culture.
Exactly.
It's not the sayings on the wall, the quotes, all those different things. And so our guys, the quality of the guys in our locker room is really high right now. Their character, both on and off the court, and it certainly shows in how they perform.
Exactly. Congratulations to those 2 young men. We're going to take a break, come back with scouting reports. 2 more games coming up next week, so don't go away. We're back right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Come on over and check out what we're doing.
Let's go! Here we go now. Here we go now.
Well, the Zips go right back into Mid-American Conference play this week, beginning Tuesday night over in Muncie, Indiana, taking on Ball State over in Worthen Arena. Coach, beautiful facility over there, and Ball State comes in with a record of 8-6. However, they're 0-2 in the Mid-American Conference. They lost a tough game Saturday to Central Michigan. I think they had a chance to win that in the last minute or two and come up a little bit short.
Yeah, they did, and obviously when you get to that point, I've been there before, 0-2 in league play.
Yeah.
You know, and when that happens, your sense of desperation goes to another level. So we've got to have a great sense of urgency when we play this game on Tuesday night. Make no mistake about it. Obviously, Jihad's a load.
Yes.
Leads them in scoring. Is an inside-outside presence. He can shoot threes. He's got great. It's interesting watching him play and move. He has some similarities to Freeman in how he moves and plays. I've always thought he was a really good player because he's skilled. He's got positional size. He's physical. It really starts with him, you know, and then they've got good guard play as well. They really do. Their two guards make plays off the dribble. They're 1 and 2, and so that'll pose some problems. And then they start really unique, Joe. Their 3, 4, and 5 are all really front court players. They're big guys: Pearson, Ben Hendricks, and then you got Jihad. And so it'll be a good challenge for us. They're very physical. They play like their coach did when he played for Bob Knight at Indiana, and they're nasty and tough, and I mean that in a complimentary way. So we better be ready to bring it on Tuesday.
You talked about a team looking for a win. They have now lost 4 in a row, but they've played some good basketball teams. They've lost, I believe, to Indiana State, Minnesota, Kent, now Central Michigan, so they're hungry right now.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, obviously they're going to play with a lot of pride. It's a home game for them. Michael's team always play with a lot of toughness, and so we fully expect that on Tuesday night.
I looked at the roster, Coach. I couldn't believe how young they are. They've got 1 senior. They've got 7 redshirt freshmen or freshmen on the roster.
Yeah, no, they're young. They're one of the youngest teams in our league.
Yeah.
They lost quite a bit from last year. Again, returning Jihad and Pearson. And then the 2 guards were transfer guards. The one kid that starts at the point for them is from Loyola Marymount on the transfer. The other kid, JUCO. So, you know, we'll be playing against and competing against those 2 guys for the first time.
You mentioned their head coach, Michael Lewis, second season with the Cardinals. He won 20 games last year with them.
No, he did in year 1, right? Had a really good team. We had some battles. They beat us over there.
That's
We did
right.
not have Castaneda. He was out that night, and they played really well. And it was a nip-and-tuck game all the way to the end. And then the one here, they led for most of the game.
That's right.
And Sammy Hunter came up big late in the game and had one of his best performances last season.
And then Friday night, another nationally televised game. This one will be at 7 o'clock as Buffalo comes into town, Coach. And not much about Buffalo, but we will encourage the fans to come out Friday night. We need another
No
big
question.
crowd.
Obviously, George Halkovich is their new head coach, Villanova background. John Evius Smith, really talented, Seton Hall transfer. You know, Isaiah Adams, Central Florida transfer, talented. And then Cy Chapman, transfer from UMass and also via Illinois State. So they're talented. We'll have to be ready to go. We're going to get every team's best shot. We have to embrace that. And hopefully Zips Nation will come out Friday night, 7 o'clock, and support these guys. We got a great crew, man. Great dudes. And we have a good team.
Exactly. Coach, congratulations on the great start in the Mid-American Conference. We'll see you Friday night, 7 o'clock, as the Zips take on Buffalo. For the coach, I'm Joe Dunn. See you back here next week. And always remember, go Zips. Thanks for watching. Zips Weekly with John Groce. Sponsored by Bryant Heating and Cooling and the Hilton Hotels in Akron and Fairlawn.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.